The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Is Geno Smith better than we think? A Jet analyst has some interesting notes from a film study on what actually went down with Geno in the Raiders. We'll talk about that and much more. Training camp is upon us. Connor Long is going to join me. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
We sitting in here, we excited as hell.
Now it's time to get to work. Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
I haven't felt joy talking about the Jets in a long time. When they announced it, I went, yeah! Jets, let's go! A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. It is indeed the Jake Asman Show presented by PrizePicks. Thanks for being here. Reminder, I'm on the radio again today from 1 to 3. Former Jets head coach Herm Edwards is going to be joining me, so you can watch it on the ESPN New York YouTube channel, or you can listen on 880 AM or download the ESPN New York app, and you can listen live there. Before we bring on today's guest, I want to remind people that in addition to our training camp meetup on August 1st, in addition to our meetup down in Nashville for the Jets and the Titans, our annual home game meetup is this year's Dolphin game on October 25th. If you're interested in joining me and the Asmaniacs sitting in section 146 in the lower level, here's what you need to do. Lock in your spot. Become a Patreon member, and you'll see on the dashboard is the link to RSVP and make your payment. Once you make your payment to join us at this meetup, you'll get a ticket in section 146. Tickets are $150, and it includes a post-game field pass. We also will have a tailgate in lot 5, L5, before the game. Information on that will be separate, and I'll have that for you guys when we get a little closer. But I made 70 tickets available for this event. 30 have been sold already. You could buy up to 4 for your group. So if you want to join me to watch the Jets and the Dolphins on October 25th at MetLife Stadium, the annual Asmaniac meetup game, what you need to do is be a Patreon member. It is first come, first serve for Patreon folks, and whatever we have left over after that, we'll give people a couple more weeks there. We'll open it up to the general public. But again, if you want to join us and guarantee a spot, patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Same thing like last year for the Carolina game or the Texans game 2 years ago. We tailgate together. We go to the game together. We go on the field afterwards all together. That is Jets Dolphins on October 25th. Again, get your tickets to this event by going to my Patreon and clicking the link to sign up there. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. And while I'm talking Patreon, big shout out to Candyman, who joined the Patreon for the year. He got 10 weekly raffle entries for doing so. Terrence Lott, Jay Keats, King of Kings, Bethpage Chris, Snowball, Mike Cantina, Kelly Maria, and Derek the Cop, our most recent Patreon subscribers. I've talked enough. Let's bring on today's esteemed guest. He's done a great job filling in for me on this very show. He booked Victor Green as a guest the last time he filled in. It's our guy Connor Long of Jet X Factor. Hello, Connor.
Jake, thanks so much for having me. Always a blast to hop on here with you. Shout out to everyone in the chat, all the Asmaniacs out there. Jake, we're inching towards training camp. 8 days from now, I think veterans report, the 29th, that is. So
28th, so actually, week from today, they report. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Practices start the 29th. That's what it is. So, yeah, it's going to be some training camp stuff coming up. I'm excited, Jake. I am. I feel like we say this every year, but this year feels different as much as Jet fans might hear that. I might hate to hear that.
It's going to be a lot different. Will the results ultimately be different, though? That's the question. There's no doubt the coaching staff minus the head coach and the team is certainly a lot different. And that also includes the quarterback. So I thought you had an interesting story that you're working on. You tweeted out a screenshot of some of your findings. You went through Geno Smith's final season and only season with the Las Vegas Raiders, and you broke down, hey, what exactly happened? He leads the NFL in interceptions with 17. But in your findings here, Connor, let's kind of go through it and get your thoughts. You found that it was only really 7 of them, which is 41.2%, that were clearly Geno's fault. 3 were a shared responsibility / debatable, and 7 of the 17 were not Geno Smith's fault. So let's kind of break this down here as people can see the screenshot for those watching on YouTube. What were your findings when breaking down Geno Smith?
Yeah, so I went back. I pretty much I watched every game last year that Geno Smith played in for the Raiders. I really honed in on the interceptions, as you can see right here. And I'll say this right off the rip. Like, I've been a Geno advocate. I think a lot of you guys know that based on what I've wrote, based on what I've tweeted, what have you. But I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Geno was not good last year in certain areas. Like, the supporting cast only magnified those issues. Playing behind an offensive line when he was pressured on 40% of his dropbacks, that certainly didn't help and played a role in his struggles. But there were games where Geno was just downright bad last season. He can miss easy throws. He can force the ball out of his hands. He didn't do a great job of consistently leading wide receivers open. A lot of passes thrown behind him, 2 of which led to interceptions, as you can see right there on that screenshot. So the way I broke it down, 17 total interceptions, which led the league. 7 of them were clearly Geno's fault, no doubt about it, either thrown behind a receiver, poor coverage read. There was a lot of that. When I break down the causes on that list, a reoccurring theme is just a bad coverage read, defenders just reading his eyes perfectly and jumping the route and securing an interception. So I don't want to sit here and pretend like Geno was perfect last year. There's no doubt about it. But 2 of those interceptions came from one of his pass catchers losing a 50-50 situation. 4 of them, Jake, came from tips and deflections. That's just bad luck for the quarterback there. 1 of them came off a really, really bad drop from Ashton Genty. 2 from pressure when throwing, and 2 from poor placement / accuracy. So look, the total breakdown, 7 of them in my eyes were clearly Geno's fault that were fully avoidable. 3 of them had share responsibilities, and depending on how you could see it, you could either blame the pass catcher or Geno. And then another 7 were just not his fault at all, whether that be drops, tips, losing a 50-50 situation. So at the end of the day, Geno was not great last year, but his supporting cast, or lack thereof, made his struggles further amplified. And I think the opus of that is really the fact that he was pressured on 40% of his dropbacks, the consistent drops, not having behind Brock Bowers a legitimate pass catching option there. Jacoby Myers was traded midseason. I think for a multitude of reasons, as I've kind of broken down these past few weeks, I think the Jets are a really, really solid destination for Geno to bounce back in 2026.
When you look back at Geno's year, what to you, if you can only pick one, was the biggest reason behind his struggles? Coaching, offensive line, playmakers. How would you sum it up?
It would have to be the offensive line, Jake. He was pressured on 40% of his dropbacks, exactly 40% of his dropbacks last year. Like that, you can't expect a pocket, especially a pocket passer like Geno, to succeed or play at a league average level when you're under that much pressure time after time. So I think the main factor in his struggles when it comes to outside contributors or supporting cast, what sticks out to me, Jake, is the offensive line. The coaching was not great. I mean, Pete Carroll, that head coach hire, didn't make sense to begin with. Chip Kelly was gone in season as the offensive coordinator there. He didn't have a solidified pass catching core, really, aside from Brock Bowers. Didn't have a multitude of different options that he could target in that regard. So at the end of the day, all of those elements contributed to it. But which sticks out to me, Jake, is the offensive line and their immense struggles throughout the course of the year.
And you compare that to the Jets O-line. Do you believe that it is not just a big upgrade, but maybe like a major upgrade? Like, how do you project the Jets O-line now when Geno's going from the worst to one of the better ones? How do you see the Jets O-line?
I think I said this when I was on with you last time. I think the offensive line ceiling this year is somewhere from like 8 to 12 in that range. I think they end up finishing like 13th or 14th overall, which is a really, really solid position, especially when you look at the Raiders, who were consensusly a bottom 3 offensive line in football last year. Something else I broke down regarding Geno, Jake, are his numbers in a clean pocket versus under pressure, and particularly last season. Here's what stands out in the clean pocket on 312 dropbacks: 81.9% completion rate, 7.4 yards per attempt, plus 0.24 expected points added per dropback, a 2.8 big time throw rate with a 2.5% turnover worthy play rate. When he was under pressure, 63.8% adjusted completion rate, 5.3 yards per attempt, negative 0.71 expected points added per dropback, 3.2 big time throw rate, 6.5 turnover worthy play rate, and a 25.9% sack rate. That difference is night and day, as I kind of just spoke about a few minutes ago. I think the Jets offensive line, if they could get to a point, which I think they're going to be this year, where they are just league average, staying in that 15 to 16 range, it will help Geno significantly. I know fans are really excited for the ceiling of this group, and rightfully so. They're young, they're ascending. I mean, Breece Hall was out on Instagram talking about the Jets' $100 million tackle duo and Armand Membu and Olu Fashanu. I know there's a lot of promise with Joe Tippmann entering his second full season, which is expected to be at right guard after he played that position in the NFL for the first time last season. I'm excited to see what Geno can do when playing behind, at the very least, in my opinion, what's going to be a league average offensive line.
Connor Long is my guest. He is a rising superstar, folks. Connor's the man. Got to take advantage of Connor being available in the morning when it's still summer and he's not going to 10th grade, if you could believe that's how old Connor is. Hit the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. It's not just Connor saying this about Geno Smith. Here's Mina Kimes of ESPN recently on her podcast discussing Geno Smith and going through a couple of metrics that bode well for Geno having a bounce back season with the Jets.
No, for a second. So if Jets fans are looking for some cope, I have it for you. Because last year you said he was near the bottom or bottom in most meaningful quarterback metrics. But something I thought was interesting was he was still extremely accurate. He was 8th in on-target rate league-wide. And even when you expanded that to over 10 yards and over 20, he still ranked high in terms of his accuracy. Even under pressure, he wasn't that bad. And, he had a relatively fast time to throw. So it wasn't like he was holding onto the ball and taking that many egregious sacks. The problem was he just took a ton of sacks. Another number I'll highlight is on throws over 10 yards. Sometimes I like to look this up. He had a 35% tight window rate, which was first in the NFL. And that's tight window rate's always interesting because, some of it is like some quarterbacks just like throwing those balls. Dak Prescott always ranks really high in that regard. Geno likes throwing tight window throws, so he's always going to rank higher. But I also think it reflects just how crappy the spacing and the passing offense was and how tight everything felt generally. The other final piece of cope, yes, he had a 3.8% interception rate last year. But if you go back just 2 years in Seattle, he went 1.9, very low, 1.8, very low, 2.6, which was not great his final year in Seattle. So the things, I think he can still throw the football. I did feel like his arm strength showed a little bit of decline last season. And then his mobility, like he took a lot of sacks. Now, again, a lot of that was on the offensive line and the offense, but he's not going to give you quarterback mobility at this point in his career. His pressure to sack rate was the worst in the NFL. So decision-making, he's got to make better choices. He's got to take fewer sacks. But I do think, per our conversation, this is a much better offense that he's walking into in the Jets. So
yeah,
I don't know. Sorry, I know I do not think at this point he is going to be a top 15 quarterback, but I think what I don't know is he going to be in the 15 to 25 range versus the 25 to 32 range? That, Anthony, I feel like I don't know because last year was so insane.
The bottom line is this: if he's anywhere close to 15, this team is going to be in the hunt going into the last month of the season, which I think is the minimum expectation if Aaron Glenn's going to get a third year. They have to be relevant, and Geno playing well is a major part of all this. And there's other things that have to break right for the Jets as well. But there's a major difference in 15, or 25. So that's a pretty wide range there for Geno Smith. I mean, he's 2 seasons removed from throwing over 4,000 yards. I don't think he's going to be what he was in Seattle, but I also think, to your point and Mina's point there, he's not as bad as what we saw last year. And here's a tweet with one of the stats that you've referenced, Connor. Like, again, I think Geno Smith can be protected. I think the Jets do have the offensive personnel to get guys schemed open and guys just to win one-on-one and get open. There's a chance he could be good. I'm not banking on it because it's the Jets, but if you want to have some hopium here in late July, some of the numbers we've discussed in this conversation give you that hope.
I agree with you there 100%. I thought Mina made some really solid points. One thing I will throw in, per PFF, just 11.5% of the pressures Geno took last year were his own fault. That ranked 35th among 45 quarterbacks in the league. So a lot of that was the offensive line. I know you mentioned the pressure to sack rate, but Geno has never been a guy in his career who has consistently evaded pressure or been able to make plays on the run. And that's okay. When you look at a lot of the guys who struggled under pressure last year, Jake, and their pressure to sack rates finished towards the bottom of the league, some of them have really good years. Drake May, Caleb Williams, Jared Goff, those guys struggled out of the pocket last season, and they have throughout the course of their careers because they are just pocket passers. That's what they are. They're not particularly mobile or can consistently make plays on the run. Caleb Moore can more so throw on the run compared to Geno, but there are a lot of really solid QBs in this league who just struggle when they're forced out of pressure and to improvise and make plays on the run. I think the only thing you can ask from Geno this year, Jake, is to do the simple things right. If he's able to do just that, do the simple things correctly, that would be enormous for the Jets. The Jets haven't had a QB since 2024 Rodgers, who fell way short of expectations that we had for him that year. The Jets haven't had a QB who could just, again, do the simple things right since Ryan Fitzpatrick in 2015. If Geno can come in, steady the ship, can't emphasize that enough, doing the simple things correctly, that's really all you could ask for in a bridge quarterback entering his age 36 season, who you're paying under $5 million this year. I think the gamble as a whole was very worthwhile for the Jets this offseason to bring Geno in, look at what he's accomplished the past few years, how bad that situation was in Vegas, and give him an opportunity here, the organization that he was first drafted by, to bounce back. So if you put a gun to my head, do I think Geno's going to be a top 10 quarterback in the league this year? No. Overall, I think he'll probably finish out somewhere in like the 14 to 20 range. And if you're in the upper echelon of that, like 14 to 16 overall QB in the league, that's some of the best QB play we've seen from someone wearing the green and white in the better half of a decade. So I actually really like the ceiling that Geno also poses this year, coupled with his floor.
Connor Long is my guest. Comments, questions, super chats, they cut the line. Today's giveaway, because we're going to manifest a big-time quarterback season from an aging veteran quarterback. How about a signed Vinny Testaverde jersey? Enter now for your chance to win a Vinny T signed jersey. When you enter, you'll also qualify for this Saturday's mega raffle featuring a signed Darrelle Revis end zone pylon, a signed Chad Pennington jersey, a signed Breece Hall helmet, another Vinny Testaverde jersey. That's right. 2 chances this week to win a Vinny prize, and a Jets Legends jersey. You pick the player you want between Mangold, Revis, Crabette, Curtis Martin, Keyshawn, Klecko, and Broadway Joe. Those are your choices. Enter for your chance to win. Support the show. Super chats get you qualified, $10 or more. You also could, of course, gift the membership. For every membership you gift, that gets you in. And if you prefer to enter via Zelle, AsmanJake@gmail, you could do that, or Venmo, Jake-Asman. Hope everyone is having a great Tuesday so far. A lot to talk about involving the New York Jets and Geno Smith. So let's tie this into our sponsor, PrizePicks. PrizePicks, by the way, brand new offer for people. Use the code HMA, and if you play your first $5 and you win, you get $150 in lineups. So check that out. Code HMA. Play your first $5, get $150 in lineups if you win. Geno's numbers on PrizePicks, Connor, incredibly low to me.
Yes.
Either one of two things happens here. He's hurt, and that's why he can't reach these numbers, or the Jets are so bad they make the change the Klubnik, and he just doesn't give the job back to Geno Smith. Because based on everything we've discussed, if Geno can't throw more than 15 touchdown passes or eclipse 2,600 passing yards, something has gone horribly wrong.
Agree with you there. And Geno's been, I would actually rule out the injury option since he took over the Seahawks starting job in 2022. He's only missed a combined 4 games, 2 of which were this past year, 2 of which came during the 2023 season. So yeah, Jake, I guess it has to be that maybe the odds makers believe that Geno is going to be so bad that he's benched in season and doesn't get an opportunity to reach those heights. I mean, his lowest of lows in terms of passing yards were this past season with the Raiders, 3,025 to finish. And same in touchdowns since he became the starter with Seattle in 2022 with 19. So I am pounding me more on both of those, Jake. You know my optimism with Geno. Again, it's kind of, we'll see what happens. But I would have a very hard time if Geno's healthy for, minimum of 14, 15 games, especially when he doesn't have that lengthy of an injury history. I'd be surprised if he doesn't surpass these numbers.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Our giveaway today was inspired by Ozzie Fullers as well, because he was asking for it. So Ozzie gifted 1 membership. He was the first to enter our raffle for the Vinny Testaverde signed jersey. So Ozzie, I got you down for 1 and now 2. He is in by gifting 2 channel memberships. Let's go. Thank you very much to Ozzie. All right. How about this super chat from Nate, who says, good morning, Jake. Did you get my address update? Nate, I did. I emailed you back. Your signed Klecko helmet will be making its way up to Canada later this week. Nate also writes in, Jets playoff drought ends this year. I refuse to believe otherwise. Let me be delusional like an ex that won't go away. Look, anything can happen. This would be astonishing if the Jets, of all the years, this is the year they ended their playoff drought. I hope you're right, Nate. To me, if the Jets are playing relevant football late in the year and we feel like we have a coach, that to me is a successful year, even if they end up missing the playoffs, at least how I'm looking at it now in late July.
To play meaningful games in November. Furthermore, I want to see this team playing for something in December. Give me a year where this team is competitive. Jake, this roster has the talent. Coach, it's going to come down to coaching and execution. We all know that, but I don't think there is anyone saying that this roster is just as talented or worse than last year's team. This year's roster is significantly better than the squad they entered last year with. Just the way it was constructed, a more balanced approach. They have veterans to come in and stabilize at certain position groups, and then a lot of young guys with a ton of upside entering the building right away. So I'm excited to see what the team could accomplish from a talent standpoint. Look, this roster has guys. There are some really good players on this team. It's now going to just come down to coaching and execution. And also, while I'm optimistic on Geno, if the Jets get the Raiders version of Geno Smith last year, it's just not going to cut it. It's not going to work. So the biggest questions on this team right now, Jake, are the head coach and the quarterback. And unfortunately, those are the 2 most important positions on a football team.
It's funny, if you do rankings, where do the Jets rank without factoring in the 2 most important things? It's they actually are in a pretty good spot. Unfortunately, that's not how this works. So that's why the Jets find themselves in the spot they're in. I'll tell you what, though, Connor, I actually am more encouraged about Geno having a bounce back season than I am the head coach. What are your thoughts on that?
Agree with you there 100%. When you just look at the trends really dating back to the 90s, first-year head coaches who get off to as bad of a start as Aaron Glenn did, they just historically haven't bounced back and led a team to that same team to the playoffs, things of that nature. I would have fired Glenn this offseason. I think they're in a really risky situation right now rolling into the year with him because, Jake, my worst nightmare is it's a Brian Callahan type thing where they don't have enough confidence in him to kind of give him the 17-game leash and say you're perfectly safe for all of year 2, but at the same time, they want to see more out of him, so they're going to give him a bit of a runway to open the year. My worst nightmare is the Jets start off 1-5, 0-6. Glenn's gone, and then you're looking for a new head coach next offseason as you're getting ready to bring that new quarterback into the building, and there's just more turmoil. I don't think Glenn and Muji are tied together. That's not anything I've heard. That's kind of just me connecting the dots. I think if Glenn's gone, Muji will stay, unless just the moves he made this offseason turn out to be completely abominable this year. So we'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, I am concerned. I am more confident, rather, in Geno bouncing back, as you said, than Glenn, because when you just look at the trends historically around the league, they don't favor head coaches who get off to a 3 or 4 win start right away to begin their career as a head honcho in the league.
Connor Long's my guest. This one is from MHJ, who says, Unk alert. I don't know what that means, but MHJ, thank you very much for supporting the show. Mike Duramo in the house says, please, can we just get some middle of the road quarterback play? Middle of the road quarterback play is like getting a drip of water for anyone who's been, slaving away in a desert. Like the bar is so low for us Jet fans. Middle of the road quarterback play will feel like something we wouldn't even know really how to act, because we just haven't seen it in so long. And even Rodgers, the year, like, while he did give you middle of the road quarterback play, you could argue the expectations were so much higher. That season was such a mess. It was so toxic around the organization. You couldn't really enjoy it. Like, if Geno plays like Josh McCown for 20, how McCown did in 2017, that would be nice, because there'd be some games where they'd be a fun, entertaining offense.
I said it earlier, just if he can do the simple things right and not throw 17 interceptions and get that number down, throw 24, 25 touchdowns, he's not going to be under as much pressure, or as at least we think, as it pertains to playing behind such a bad offensive line that he was with last year in the Raiders. So, look, I am confident in him improving from last year, albeit it's not a very high bar, but it's going to, a lot of it, I think, Jake, someone's name who we haven't discussed on the show today, Frank Reich. What is he going to look like? How is he able to tailor an offense, not only towards Geno's strengths, but also the tight end who he, let's just call it how it is, pushed for at number 16 overall. Frank Reich has run a lot of 11 personnel. Taylor and Sadiq have the skill sets to play next to each other. Sadiq with the inside-outside versatility from the slot and inline perspective. But Frank Reich has not been someone who likes to use 2 tight ends at the same time. I'm intrigued to see how those guys are put next to each other, because I could see if Kenyon Sadiq doesn't finish with over 500 receiving yards, I could see Jet fans who were against the pick to begin with already getting a little antsy and being like, all right, let's see some production from Sadiq. So I'm intrigued to see how he utilizes those guys. But Frank Reich is another massive question mark who's going to be calling offensive plays for the team this year. So there's that too.
Ladies and gentlemen, a guy I had the honor and privilege to meet in person at Gangrene Beach Club has gifted a 10 spot. Doc, Jet fan, in the raffle for 10 entries. Let's go. Let's go, Doc. Here are the 10 listeners who are now channel members. JC Ghost, Boss Girl 8, Your Father's Home, Mike Primes, Eddie B Things, Ryan P 68, Fink 446, Bobby K5, Nate Bonifant, J Sams 7, all receiving a gifted channel membership from the Doc. Oh yeah, thank you to Doc Jetfan for the contribution. Again, if you're tuning in late, Vinny T signed jersey is our raffle prize today. I got more entries to shout out. Our guy John J Williams sent me his patented Zelle entry. He's in for 2.
Get up. Let's go.
Thank you to John. And then Steve with a Venmo, who says, longtime listener. I've never gotten a Venmo question before, so this is very cool. Steve, thank you for supporting the show.
Yeah.
Longtime listener. Besides Geno, name one player you'd love to see make All-Pro. Garrett Wilson, because that will keep him happy. He'll be on the Mike Evans career route that I've talked about. Stick it out long enough, and hopefully the organization could get you a real coach and quarterback and infrastructure, and you could win like Evans got to down in Tampa with Brady, and they've had success with Baker afterwards. That's the guy I'd love to see. He's here. He's wanted to be here. He's defended the Jets publicly. He's done all the right things. If I could pick one player besides Geno to make an All-Pro, it would be Garrett Wilson, for I think just how much I know it would personally mean to him and this fan base that really looks at him as the face of the franchise right now.
Yeah, I like that. I agree with you 100%. Just all the quarterback turmoil that he's had to deal with, and last year, leading the team with 395 receiving yards in 7 games. He deserves to earn that national recognition. To kind of just spruce it up and go a little different here, I'll go with Armand Membu, and I think he's someone who has a really high chance of earning those honors if he takes a year to stride, which I personally think he will. He was dominant last year in his rookie season at right tackle. I'm looking forward to seeing him improve, and the guy was an athletic freak coming out of college. He made an impact right away at 21, 22 years old. If he's able to take a stride in the right direction this year, which I think he's capable of doing, and he can earn an All-Pro his second year in the league, Jake, I think that'd be huge for the fan base. And regardless of how the year finishes out, continue to provide more hope for this young and ascending offensive line.
Good question, Steve. I mean, it'd be awesome if anyone makes an all-pro team, of course. Geno would be the best thing possible because then the Jets are a playoff team if they have an all-pro quarterback, which I don't think they've ever had in their history. I don't think they've ever had in the modern era a quarterback be an all-pro, but that'd be something. You know, in terms of other guys, where if they did it, it'd be gigantic for the team's success. If Brees was a first-team all-pro running back, that would bode well. You mentioned Membu. That certainly would bode well. How about if David Bailey comes into the league and does what Sauce did his rookie year, where he's a first-team All-Pro and defensive rookie of the year? That certainly would help tilt some things for the Jets in a lot of these games.
Tavondre Sweat, another one. What does he look like? He's been one of the best run stoppers in the league his 2 years in the pros. So I'm looking forward to watching him. I know he's been widely discussed as a breakout candidate. Hey, Jake, let's not forget about Jamie Sherwood. I'm interested to see what a bounce back year could look like for him, being paired with Demario Davis, who's expected to wear the Jets green dot this season. It's going to take a lot of responsibility off Sherwood. It's going to allow him to play more freely, which he was doing in 2024, the season that earned him that lucrative 3-year extension. So I'm looking forward to Jamie Sherwood. If he's 2024 Sherwood, he could certainly be in that conversation. If he's as bad as he was last year, absolutely not. But I'm intrigued to see what a bounce back season could potentially look like for Jamie.
Comments, questions, super chats, they cut the line. I want to give some love to Phil D'Angelo, who enters the Asmaniac raffle with a Venmo of $10. He's in for 2 entries. He says a razor or beard for Mr. Long. Connor, you don't have to shave yet, do you?
Clean up the stash a little bit in the sideburns, but no, I don't have a beard going like yourself yet, Jake. Not there.
You'll get there. You will get there. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. How about some breaking Jets news? And I'm not kidding. Actual news from the New York Football Jets on a Tuesday morning. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Breaking sports news on the Jake Asman Show.
The Jets have announced they will have a white helmet and they will have a white out in their home opener against the Green Bay Packers. So the Jets introducing a white helmet for a whiteout themed opener game at MetLife Stadium against Green Bay in week 2. The Jets have been teasing a new helmet, and now it is official. White helmet to go with a white outlook in the Jets home opener against the Green Bay Packers in week 2 on September 20th. Here's the thing with this. Remember last year they wore all black against the Cowboys in that game where it was like 90 degrees and it made no sense? At least if you're the Jets, make the Packers have to wear the dark shade of green jersey in your own building. So this is, strategy-wise, actually smart, and I kind of like how the white helmet looks on the screen there.
Yeah, aside from the strategy point, Jake, it's looking nice. I like the green stripes kind of going down the side. It's cool, a new look jersey-wise. Wasn't the biggest fan of the rivalry jerseys last year that came out, although I did pick up one from Parts Unknown, an Arian Smith rivalry jersey, Jake, that I have in my closet. So I actually really like this look. The green stripes going down, the white is clean. I mean, the new logo, as we know, we've seen it for a couple years now. It's beautiful. The thing that kind of jumped off the screen is I'm interested in how Andre Sisco somehow made his way onto that promotional poster there. But overall, yeah, really tight look. I like it. It would be even better if the game was on prime time. Think it'd look cleaner under the bright lights, but nevertheless, sick jerseys.
So the New York Jets now have a white helmet. I like it. People are saying maybe they should have had a green face mask with it, but I don't mind. I think the all white is a cool look. I think these helmets would look cool if they wore them with the green. the green jerseys, right? I think if you're the Jets, a lot of your history is having white helmets. Why not take this white helmet with the green jersey instead of having green helmets for some of these matchups? So I'm cool with it. I'm curious how the fan base feels about it. So chat, let me know your thoughts on these brand new helmets from the New York Jets. The whiteout is in effect for the Jet home opener. Let's pray to God they're 1-0 going into that game against the Packers. Here's more from the Jets announcing the all-white look with the new helmet. Maybe a little too much Andre Sisco in that promo and not enough Brees and Garrett and David Bailey and Demario Davis, but I like the look. So I think this will be a nice little touch for the home opener this year.
Cool. Now go win the game, and that'll feel even better.
Let's win some games. Novel concept, no doubt about that. Hit the like button if you're just joining us. Open phone lines for those of you who want in on the show. Appreciate everyone being here. Connor Long is my guest. We are brought to you today by my friends over at IndaCloud. IndaCloud should be your go-to for any of your needs, whether you need better sleep, you need more energy, you need to unwind and relax. They got something for everyone. They are a fully legal online cannabis dispensary with gummies, pre-rolls, zero sugar THC sodas, energy gummies, extra strength sleep gummies. Everything is federally legal hemp THC. It's lab tested, and they'll ship discreetly right to your door. If you're 21 or older, go to indacloud.co. Use the code ASMAN for 30% off your first subscription order, plus free gifts and free shipping on qualifying orders. That's indacloud.co, code ASMAN. It's linked in the video description. Enjoy responsibly, and thanks to IndaCloud for supporting the Jake Asman Show. Super Chats cut the line around here. Scatty, who's been a channel member for 16 months, he is sending in an Asmaniac super chat. He says, my sister had Brees and Garrett on her dynasty team for years. Now she's won very few games. She's getting hopeless. Any advice for the young woman? Well, keep the faith, because I do think those guys are in position to have big seasons, because Garrett has a real quarterback who could pepper him with targets. Brees Hall, I think now that he's been paid, ran for over 1,000 last year. I think Frank Reich is a better OC than Tanner Engstrand. I think Geno Smith will make it so the box has to be respected from the standpoint you can't just put 8 guys in and try and stop Brees with the run, because Geno could check to a pass play and actually make you pay for that. So I think both guys could have the best years of their careers. So I'm not guaranteeing it because it's the Jets, Scatty, but your sister's kept them this long. She might as well hold on to them for another year.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Like with Garrett, this could be a humongous season, a career year for him. Not only because he's going to have a QB who's been one of the most accurate in football over the past few seasons. Geno is also the perfect guy to help unlock his deep game. Like, Jake, we've seen Garrett's speed on full display and his ability to win consistently, both against man and zone coverage. Garrett, though, hasn't been able to unleash that deep game because he hasn't had a QB who could throw him the deep ball. Geno, from his time with the Seahawks, was one of the best deep passers in the league. If he can just be in that league average territory this year, he's going to help Garrett out immensely. And maybe we see some more. Remember that, Jake? That beautiful Justin Fields to Garrett touchdown in week 1, right at the back corner of the end zone. Maybe we see some more of that with Geno throwing the football G5's way. So I'm looking forward to watching not only that connection evolve in the short and intermediate game, but also in the deep game and what he can unlock there for Garrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking all things Jets. I'm talking all things Jets new uniforms. If you're tuning in late, the Jets announced a new white helmet that they'll wear for select games this year. We don't know all the games they're going to be wearing them. We do know it will be for at least the home opener in week 2 against the Green Bay Packers. So Jets in the all white. Against Green Bay, they'll have to wear their greens, which makes sense because it's still going to be potentially very hot in September. And then let the Packers wear the darker colored uniforms rather than the Jets wearing the whites. The Lumpman checks in. We will love the uniforms if we win. We will hate them if we lose. I mean, I hated
that's it.
rivalry uniforms, even if they were one of those. I just think those are ugly. I don't know why they're bringing them back. That said, I like the helmet no matter what, and I like the Jets' current uniforms, even though they've done nothing but lose in them since they debuted them the last 2 years.
Exactly. The Jets jerseys, I mean, they're pretty solid. They're towards the upper echelon of the league. I really like these white ones, but winning cures all. I don't care how ugly the jerseys are if the Jets are winning football games. So win at all costs. That should be the Jets mantra this year. Maybe put that on the rivalry jerseys.
The Candyman checks in. I have no clue what I'm doing on Patreon. Well, Candyman, if you're trying to lock in tickets for the Asmaniac meetup game for the Jets and Dolphins, right on Patreon, you'll see the pinned message on the dashboard. But right when you sign in, it's there with all the info on what to do. If you're trying to get to the Discord, when you're on Patreon, look for the tab that says Discord. Click that, connect your Patreon to the Discord, and you will be ready to roll. If you still can't figure out what I'm saying, shoot me an email, and I'll send you the play-by-play instructions on how to get on the Patreon. Best way to do it, though, is just to go to patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. I recommend everyone signs up for the year because you'll save 15%. You get bonus shows, your name added to the intro, access to exclusive events before the general public. You get 25% off every item in my merch store, and you get the audio version of the show ad-free if you so choose. So if you're tired of podcast ads, I don't control that. But if you don't want any ads on the podcast, you could get it through the Patreon and not have to deal with any audio ads. So go to patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Let's get to a couple calls now. If you want in on the conversation, you certainly can. Connor Long is with us here. Did a great breakdown on Geno Smith at the start of our show. We have a raffle prize up for grabs. It's a Vinny Testaverde signed jersey. So make sure you enter for your chance to win that. There was a comment earlier that I bookmarked here to address. This one was from Beastbreaker. Says, I just ate breakfast, steak, and eggs with sausage. I dig that. Ladies and gentlemen, for more on what this man ate for breakfast, we say hello to the Beast. Oh, what's wrong, Beast?
I'm going to be peeing a lot. I got to go introduce Mr. Lizard to the Pizzard. I'm not going to piss all over myself. Can't we all just say it correctly? I can dig that. I dig that. Come on.
Can you put a ring light on? Is that possible?
Hey, I might be big. I might be rough. I might be tough. But at least I don't drop a fart. I don't like these new whiteout jerseys. Hey, what's next? What are they going to come up with next? Haven't we done enough? First it was the black. What the hell are we going to come up with next? I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals got a white helmet. Who else is going to have a white helmet?
Well, none of the Jets.
Beast, can I please ask you to do something moving forward? When you call in, don't get up if you're only wearing boxers. We came very close to having to scrub yesterday's show off the internet there. The Beast dong was almost exposed, folks. Yesterday was a wild one.
Now I feel like Razor Ramon and just going, Oye, chico, okay, Casiana. You ever heard Casiana?
I think this is a reasonable request, right? I don't want your dong on the internet.
Don't worry about it. Hey, I'm not like Bobby Midnight. Sometimes we all make accidents. We all make a whip for all backs. Okay?
Yes, I had to scrub that one. The Bobby Midnight junk once threatened to cause some issues on his channel.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now I just ate a nice breakfast. And I'll tell you, 2% milk goes down nice and smooth, and it's even better.
So say yes, Jake. I will not wear boxers on the show and stand up. Say yes. I will not wear boxers and stand up.
No, we already know that we've covered that ground. Do I have to sound
you
like
haven't said it though. I've covered it. I haven't heard you acknowledge it.
If you're gonna sound like Roman Reigns, I hate that guy with passion.
I'm not talking about Roman Reigns. I'm talking about your dong being exposed on a Jet talk show. I don't need your turtle coming out of the shell, Beast. Come on.
I'm not
my
Bobby
God.
Midnight. Did we make accents? Of course we make accents.
So say, I will not expose my dong. Say it.
I'm not gonna yell and scream today. You know what? This is gonna
Just
be the
say, I won't expose my dong.
Hey, I won't expose the lizard, but I sure could go in the John and go drop the skizzard. Now,
Thank you very much, Beast.
One of a kind. That's the only way to put it. I didn't know he almost got leaked, as they say on the pod yesterday.
Voluntarily almost leaked the dong yesterday.
Incredible.
Let's see. Comments, questions, super chats. Always cut the line around here. Doc says, run, Connor, run away while you can. At this point, you can't escape the beast, Connor.
Yeah, how long has Beast been calling into the show for, Jake? 2 years now?
About a year and a half.
A year and a half. So yeah, I am well accustomed to the Beast Breaker lore / behavior.
Phil wants to know, did we hear Connor's mom yell at him to get off his computer?
No, didn't happen. Don't recall. Definitely not today. And I don't think it's happened before. I feel like I would have noticed that if that was the case.
the parents in the chat are concerned with your well-being after dealing with Beast.
Yeah, it's all right. Again, I'm kind of accustomed to it. I'm like trained in the Beast Breaker mannerisms, the isms, as Gary calls them. So nothing I haven't seen before.
Open phone lines for those of you who want in on the conversation. I have an exciting show-related announcement. The Azzy Awards are returning. I have all the nominees for our second annual Azzy Award show, where each day we'll vote for who will win an Azzy Award in a different category. So stay tuned for that. We'll have the exact schedule in the coming days. It will start later this week, though. That I know. My last day of radio as far as consistent shifts these last 2 weeks is Thursday. So potentially Friday AM, we will have our first Azzy Award up for grabs. All right. The annual Azzy Awards are back. And I'll spoil one of the categories. All right. Because there's 23 awards.
Oh, wow.
And I'll give away one of the categories here, because I know people are going to be dying to know. The best intro Azzy Award. Here are your nominees: Chef Kevin, The Rooster, Black Gypsy, and Luppy. Your 4 nominees for the Azzy Awards. All good. All great ones. Your votes will determine who will win the best intro award. So keep that in mind. We got some unbelievable categories. Intro award, rookie of the year, best beast moment, best show moment, best regular guest co-host, biggest fall from grace.
Oh, that's a good one.
There's some good ones. All right.
I like those.
And I can already see in the chat, where's Lou B? Not everyone can make it. Not everyone can make it. It's only 4.
And those are all new intros, too. Some recency bias there, Jake, I noticed.
Most anticipated return. Best crash out. Most opinionated. Can't be phased award. Rumble of the Year award. Power couple award. Best takes award.
Yeah, Gary's involved in about 20 of those, I can already imagine.
Needs more calls award. There's a lot of good stuff.
Yes.
What the hell are you saying award? There's some good stuff. I promise you guys that. We're going to continue the conversation with your calls on the other side, but first we pause because we debut a brand new segment called What the Heck is Charles Gorman Talking About?
It's time for a Doomsday trailer reaction video with the great Charles Eugene Gorman Esquire III.
Hello everyone. Today I'm here to give you guys my thoughts on the recent trailer, as a matter of fact, on the most recent release of I'm sorry, I'm butchering my words. I'm so sorry, everyone. Originally, the most it was supposed to be legal issues in regards to domestic violence. If you as all in all, I think if I was to give a grade on the Avengers, let's hope it's good, guys. Peace out.
You've been watching a Doomsday Trailer reaction video by the great Charles Eugene Gorman Esquire III. Be sure to go to his website to see the full version of the review.
Outstanding stuff there from
Incredible.
Charles Gorman. Just one of one, folks. More of your calls now, shall we?
Extraordinary. Extraordinary. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. It's quite extraordinary. Quite extraordinary. You know women shouldn't vote. Just do laundry and vacuum. Extraordinary.
What's up, Jake? What's up, Connor Long?
What's up? How we doing, Gary?
Excellent job out of you this morning, Connor Long. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And Jake, you tried your best, and that's more than most.
Thank you, Gary.
Jake, you want to see something awesome?
I do. Whoa. Those are his?
Well, I mean, they're not. Yeah, they're the Brunsons. They're not off of his feet, but they're the Brunsons. Yeah.
Well, he wears Kobe's, does he not?
These are Kobe's. Yeah.
But
these are they were player editions. Jake, that's not his thing. They were player editions only. Meaning they only made them for like the pink ones for heart, right? They were only hearts, and then they dropped them, and they were when they were in the finals, they were $1,200. I wasn't spending $1,200 on them. I got them at a pretty hefty price, but not $1,200.
There we
What does your
go.
wife think of
Those
this
are clean.
purchase? Does she support it?
She hates. I have more shoes than my wife. I know that sounds kind of gay, but I have more shoes. Like she doesn't love it, but she's getting used to it. She actually, do you remember 2 years ago when Brunson wore the bright orange Kobe's in the playoffs?
I do.
I have those. She actually likes those. She's okay with this. She says this color is trending. Maybe some of the females can confirm that or deny that, but she said this color is trending.
Beastbreaker says Gary is no man's man. He's just a local dumbass. Would you like to respond?
Well, I am not local. That's like one. I'm halfway across the country, and two is I don't have comments on that. So he almost had a Bobby Midnight moment yesterday. Is that what happened?
There could have been some dong exposure. We came close.
Okay. Yeah, he's probably put some shorts on or something. Yeah. He's got his Knicks gear on.
He does.
Is he a Knicks fan?
Want to ask him?
No.
Beast, are you a Knicks fan?
Not
Are you
really.
stupid or something, you blind bozo the clown reject? Jesus, you are this blind. I've seen some dummies in my life, but wow, you come out of the woodwork like some local dumbass. Wow.
Bobby Beasley says you're a Bulls fan.
You're a retard.
Well, that may
And that
be.
guy don't, and he don't
Whether or
exist.
not you're a Knicks fan or a
Look,
Bulls fan anymore.
Look,
valid.
shithead, go clean your act up a little better. Show your wife a thing or two about having a good time. At least have some balls to dig it up. You moron. Wow. Just when I thought grammar school, high school, and college couldn't get any dumber, you come out of the woodwork like some three-piece idiot in a three-piece suit. If I was Joe Pesci, I'd come in and look at you like, look at this guy. You know, this guy came from, I don't know where he came from. I think he's a local idiot. I think he's an idiot.
Hey, Beast, question for you. The orange and blue you're rocking, is this because you're a fan of John Cena?
You know, the last son of a bitch I yelled at yesterday was one, and now I'm going to yell at another son of a bitch? You think I've had enough? Look, do I have to sound like the guy from Sudden Impact and go, I had to bust your ass down the trafficking? But better yet, maybe kick it off the fourth.
I asked if you're a fan of John Cena. What's the problem?
What are you fucking high?
Can't see me.
Get it together, son. I'm old school.
John Cena's not old school?
You ain't down with the real peeps. I think you're forgetting who the real stars are because you are basically a blind man.
I went to college with a girl who slept with John Cena, and she bragged about it for like nonstop. So that's old school because that's got to be 20-something years ago. So he's
Hey,
been around
everybody,
for a while.
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard. You know about that? Ass up in 2000.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Now,
Beast, I've been told you're a huge John Cena fan. Was I mistaken?
He's wearing the crispy pizza shirt.
First of all, you need to get your eyes examined by a doctor. 2, you need to go get your balls re-examined. And 3, here's a card. Go to the ENT doctor. Get your hearing checked.
What does that
Jake,
have to do
have
with
you
John Cena?
Do I give a flying fuck about that loser?
Whoa, calm down.
The guy's a goddamn loser. I'm RVD with, let's see, the Pitbulls. Let's see, who else? The Eliminators, also Saturn and Cronus. I think you need to have a reality check of what ECW is all about.
Because we asked you about John Cena?
You want to take
someone in the chat said you want to sleep with John Cena. Is that true?
What are you, high on drugs too?
Just
Get your
reiterating
balls
what the people want to
re-examined
know.
and figure it out.
What's up with you getting balls re-examined?
It's time that this country gets their balls re-examined and actually grows a goddamn spine.
What does that mean
I'm
exactly?
not here to play games. I don't play games. See, I'm like the old school,
Jake, have you ever been to the Crispy Pizza in Bay Ridge on 13th Avenue?
I have not.
You should go. It's legit, bro. Top 10 pizza places in New York. It's legit. Like, it's legit.
If you want one good pizza, if you want to try some of their best pizzas, you try their hot honey roni, pepperoni pizza, the Sicilian, or the 13th Avenue, or you could also try the margarita. The margarita one looks good. Or if you want something different, you can try the bacon, egg, and cheese pizza that they got.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat that, but they have smincioni. Smincioni is like authentic Sicilian pizza with there's anchovies in the sauce and there's breadcrumbs
yeah,
on
they
top.
got the anchovies.
It's legit,
too.
bro. It's as good as anything I've had in Sicily. It's legit.
You're missing one more thing too. The grandma pie they make. They make a grandma pie.
Never had their grandma pie.
That will blow your mind. And you know,
Hey, Beast, PBM wants to know, what would getting your balls examined accomplish?
Go to the doctor. Get them fixed up. Tighten them up a little harder.
Tighten
Why
them up?
don't you check with the Major D while you're at it?
Like with a wrench?
Get it up here and get it down there. Get it fixed.
So just to clarify, you're not a John Cena fanboy.
Oh, hell no. You're barking up the wrong side of the tree. Do you know what Jake Roberts once said? Come on, come here. Come around this tree. Come here. Come around.
Oh, what's wrong, Beast?
I'm going to be peeing a lot. I got to go introduce Mr. Lizard to the Pizzard. I'm not going to piss all over myself.
We covered a lot of ground there.
I do like that hot hat, Connor one. That's a good looking hat.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
really
Too
good.
bad the Mets are incompetent and it's like embarrassing to wear it, but
I still try to watch the games. It's too crappy. It's like watching a bad high school team. They're so bad.
yeah, the errors too. It's just
The
like
Brewers are so bad since David Starnes left 3 years ago. They've just been awful. Can't figure it out without that
best
guy.
Best record of baseball.
Yeah.
Best record of baseball.
absurd.
Any other thoughts, Gary?
I mean, I did have thoughts. I heard Connor Long mention the ism, so I wanted to call in. And but I did. Can we talk about Geno Smith?
Sure.
Let's go.
When they say we have expectations and like, how many quarterbacks in the NFL do you actually think? I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm not. How many quarterbacks in the NFL do you actually think Geno Smith is better than? 5, 6? I mean, what
better is very broad because Geno, as we've seen over the past few years, his production is very dependent on the environment that he's in, and that's the same for a lot of veterans in the league. It's tough for me, really, anymore with any quarterback outside of like the top 5 or 10 to be like, oh, this guy is better than that guy, or he's worse than this guy. In the NFL nowadays, as we've seen, especially with these older veterans like Geno, it's so scheme and environment dependent. I mean, I don't know if you were watching earlier, but I talked about Geno's numbers in a clean pocket last year versus under pressure, and the difference is night and day. So that just continues to, prove my point of like, I don't know, that would be tough for me to go through and say, oh, Geno is, concretely better than this guy. A lot of it is environment and scheme dependent.
I understand what you're talking about when he's under pressure. Every quarterback is going to be under pressure now. The blitz packages, the athleticism of the DNs, the pass rushers. Like the one thing you can't have in the NFL is time. Like if you give it, you can't have it. You can't have time.
But his time to throw. My point is, a lot of the pressure that was allowed last year was because of how bad the Raiders' offensive line was. His time to throw was under 3 seconds. It was right in the middle of the pack of the league last year. He was not holding onto the ball for 3.3 seconds like Lamar, Caleb Williams, Justin Fields. Those guys were last year. He wasn't. The offensive line was just that bad that they accounted for such a large portion of the pressures generated. And again, he was not holding onto the ball for too long. His average time to throw, 2.92 seconds last year. He was getting the ball out quickly. He was feeding it to receivers. It was just the offensive line was in a different stratosphere of bad that he couldn't function with it. And a lot of pocket passers in this league can't function with the unit as bad as the Raiders. Oh well.
All right, I think that's a fair reason. It sounds a little like cope, but it's a fair reason to have.
Is it really cope though? Because like
it's a fair level of optimism. You're not saying anything crazy.
Well, it's also, let's not forget of how dominant he was at his peak. He had 3 years of Pro Bowl level football with the Seattle Seahawks.
But Connor, he's 36. Like only Vinny Testaverde gets better at 36.
Keep this in mind with Geno. Geno has a very, very unique career. A lot of quarterbacks we see come into the league, they peak from ages like 24 to 27. Geno didn't start getting on the right track when he got that starting job in Seattle when he was 32, 33. And played really, really well through 2023 through 2024. And then this past year, I mean, even the baseline numbers like completion rate were really solid. And a lot of it could be contributed to the supporting cast. Did he take a step back from 2024? Absolutely. I'm not saying that Geno was as good as he was last year, than his level of play with the Seahawks. But at the same time, I think a lot of it needs to be attributed to the situation and the environment that he was in. So at the end of the day, like, do I think Geno's going to be a top 10 quarterback? Probably not. You put to a gun in my head, I'm going to say absolutely not. But at the end of the day, he can be a steady. I agree. Like, I don't think he's going to be at that level. And you can make a case he was around that area with the Seahawks. I don't think he's going to come close to that this year. I think if he can come in, steady the ship, do the simple things right, it's a win for someone you traded a day 3 pick for and you're paying under $5 million.
No, I don't mind the trade. I just thought they were going to bring someone else in, either a veteran. Well, I guess they couldn't. I mean, they drafted Cade, but I thought they were going to bring someone else in to at least compete. Not saying he wouldn't get this, but like just saying, okay, Geno Smith is option 1, 2, and 3 at quarterback is rough to me. And look, it's going to be better than last year. Like, do you think that he can be as good as Aaron Rodgers was 2 years ago, which is kind of like middling? Like, do you think he can be as good as Rodgers was 2 years ago?
I think you're looking in that same territory. I think that's a fair comp. I think he's going to come in. He can throw the deep ball really well. And think of it with Rodgers, like one of the reasons everyone was so furious with Rodgers, myself included, is because of the high expectations. With adjusted expectations, if Geno Smith comes in and throws 28 touchdown passes, his completion rate is like in the middle of the pack. You're looking at him as a guy who's able to move the offense, moves the sticks, has a nice deep ball, can hit guys who are open downfield, a luxury that this team didn't have last season. Like, for adjusted expectations, when you apply that to a bridge quarterback who's entering his age 36 season, I would absolutely take that level of production. I know what you guys are going to say. Well, Connor, you wanted Aaron Rodgers out the door. Yes, but it was a completely different situation in terms of expectations, the roster the Jets had, the window that they were in to win games. If Geno Smith is 2024 Aaron Rodgers, I would need to probably refresh myself and do a little more deep diving into like the analytics and the film of what Rodgers was exactly like in 2024. But on the surface, like, I think that's a fair level of production with what I think this defense can be. The Jets having a more expanded pass, the Jets having a better offensive line. On the surface, I'd take that.
It's going to be better than last year. I grant a lot of what you're saying, but that's just because the expectations are so low because of Justin Fields and Zach Wilson and our history of quarterback, like getting any production at all, like it not being 32 out of 32 or 31 out of 32 bad is like, well, that's good. Well, that's not good. Like if he's I think you said top 10. Like, he's still in the bottom 10. Like, how? And I agree a lot of what you're saying with scheme and fit and how can our quarterback produce in this system? I think like Baker Mayfield is a product of that. Sometimes he looks great, sometimes he looks horrible. It really is just the system that he's in. And I remember how this same conversation with Bobby Sabo about Mendoza. I don't like Mendoza. Like, well, he can play within the system. Whether or not he's a top-notch quarterback is irrelevant. He can produce in the system. It's like, that's a fair point. Like, that's a fair point. But how many games are we going to play this year where Geno Smith is the better of the two quarterbacks in the game? Not many. Like, there's not
are
a
there
lot of
games
times
where the Jets special teams is the difference? Are there games where the defense could force some turnovers and be the difference? Geno doesn't need to outplay Josh Allen, Herbert, and Mahomes when they play. He needs to be competent, and the rest of the team needs to do its part as well. If you're expecting Geno to be the catalyst to carrying you to wins, I don't think he could do that. I think if the ingredients around him are in place, and they might be at least on offense, I think they could be a competitive team this year. But competitive means they got to win games early to build momentum. They can't start 0-4 and then win games late. That doesn't do anything for anyone.
Yeah, and with Geno, you're not going to see them similar to like what you said, Jake. They're not going to win like 39, 38 shootouts consistently with Geno throwing 5 touchdowns. It's just not going to happen. And this is why what I said, Gary, a lot of QB production, and Jake, you kind of touched on it there, is environment-based. Like if the Jets could have a top 10 defense this year with a really solid supporting cast and Omar Cooper Jr. and Kenyon Sadiq come in and they combine for 1,100 yards this season and 6-8 touchdowns, that would be incredible. Like the Jets environment, I think, is set up well. If they hit the expectations that we have for Geno to be a competent QB, maybe again, not winning these shootout style games or throwing 4 or 5 touchdowns, but someone who can come in, balance out the offense and just do what's needed to get by, be competitive and win games. And Gary, what more can you ask for in a bridge quarterback? Make it under $5 million a year.
The salary's not bad. The signing's not bad. I remember when they signed him, my wife just texted me. She said, Geno Smith, ? LOL. It's like, but I don't think it's that bad of a signing. They didn't give anything up. They're not paying him a bunch of money. I just think they should have brought someone else in to compete with him. And maybe Geno would have won that job, and we would have got our starting quarterback on the cheap, and that's fine. My thing is, like, if you get down 10, you're down 2 scores early. Is the game over like it is with Zach Wilson, like it was with Justin Fields? It's over. We're down 10. It's going to take us a month to score 10 points. It's over. Is it that feeling? Or is it like, all right, we're down 10. That's not a big deal. Let's get some stops.
You hope it's the second option. I think the Jets are talented enough for it to be the second option throughout the course of the season. We'll see, though, because look, with Geno, a lot of it's going to come down to how he fits into the offense, what Frank Reich is able to dial up in terms of a scheme and integrating the young talent into this unit. Again, Reich, I said it earlier on, Reich is a question mark too. What is he? I mean, Chip Kelly, there was no cohesiveness between Geno and Chip last year, which is why it led to his in-season firing and one of the reasons Geno struggled. Reich and Geno getting on the same page is going to be very important right off the start. And Jake, as you've reiterated since the schedule comes out, getting off to a hot start, wins and losses wise, is also going to be huge for this team.
Better win week 1. Gary, I got to end the show soon, so I got to let you run.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gary 3D Boxing.
Love
all
Gary.
right. Connor, I got a couple super chats I'm going to hit, but you've been on for over an hour. You enjoy your summer, man. Don't be miserable having to talk about the Jets. You're the man. Where can people find you?
Jake, thanks so much for having me. Read my work every day with myself, Mike Nanny, Robbie, JetsXFactor.com. Follow me, YouTube at NYFlight Jets Talk. My work on Twitter at Connor_long15. Jake, thanks so much for having me, man. Really means a lot. Shout out to everyone watching. Let's go Jets, baby. And again, thanks. Keep crushing it on the radio and have a great day, guys.
I love it. Connor, let me tell you a story at the end here. So I'm at Fanatics Fest, and I ran into a listener who is a listener, not of me, but of you. My friend Anthony, his cousin Pat, he watches your net show, and he was watching one day, and he goes, wait, Jake, I saw you comment a super chat to Connor, and I put it together that you two know each other. I go, you watch Connor Long's net show? He goes, yeah, I'm a net fan, and there's not that many net shows out there, and Connor does a great job. He's got one of the best net shows. So good for you, Connor. There you go. You're hitting you're hitting an audience that is craving content because it's mostly Knicks stuff out there. So good job.
Yes, sir. Well, that's great. Thanks for the story. That's great. I think Pat Moriello, is that his name? I feel like I've seen him in the chat.
Pat and Joey Leo would be the listener you're looking for.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen a few Pats, but yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for that. And again, appreciate you, Jake. Talk soon and have a great day, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Connor Long. Oh, yeah. Before we get out of here, a word from our friends at Circa.
The biggest contest we've ever seen.
Seriously, what's the guarantee?
They're still talking about it.
I think it's time to put the rumors to rest.
Showtime.
$30 million.
$30 million?
$30 million? $30 million?
That's $30 million guaranteed. 3 contests, multiple ways to win, no rate. Entry starting at $1,000. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
That's right. Circa's contest is back. The 3 pro football betting contest. We'll be out there for contest weekend, as we are every year doing our show from Vegas at the end of August. Circasports.com for all the information. I got some super chats I got to hit. This one is from Johnny Danks, who says, anybody going to the fish show tomorrow at MSG? Maybe I'll see Bob Wischusen in there. LOL, go Jets. Johnny, enjoy the fish show. Bob Wischusen, if I know him, is definitely going to be there. That guy is probably the biggest fish fan on the planet. Shout out to Chef Brian. Chef Brian, you ready for the chef off? You versus Chef Kevin, August 1st, Cloverleaf Tavern. Brian says, Zach owned the Bills. Geno can win. He didn't really own the Bills. The Jets happened to have success against the Bills because Salah's defense got the best of Josh Allen several times. Zach never played great in those games, though. In fact, I don't think he played well at all in the game that Rodgers went down. I think Garrett Wilson made an unbelievable catch in the end zone that night. Xavier Gibson had a punt return touchdown, and the Jet defense had 3 interceptions. Jordan Whitehead had 3 that night, and they recovered a fumble. And then when they beat the Bills the previous year, the defense also played great. And the Jets ran the ball well that day. But again, Glenn's got to be better against the division or he's going to be fired at the end of the year. You go 0-6 against the AFC East, he's going to be out of a job. Doc Jetfan with a super chat. With Kevin Zeitler and Taylor Decker still available, might it make sense for the Jets to try and shore up their O-line depth with productive vets? I agree with you, Doc. I would have loved to have seen them sign Ethan Posick, who ends up going to the Ravens. I don't love the interior offensive line depth. I don't. I think it's a concern. Maybe it's one of those things where they wait till camp starts. Just like last year, they waited till camp started to evaluate their defensive tackles and then made the multiple trades for Jawan Briggs and the other trade for Harrison Phillips. Maybe that's similar with interior O-line, but I agree with you. I'd be interested in both players. Sco checking in. Where you been, Sco? You're hiding because the Mets suck? Hey, Jake, how you been? Connor, nice hat. Let's go, Mets. Hope you're doing well, Sco. Come to our meetup on August 1st. Cloverleaf Tavern, baby. By the way, I should say this. I was waiting to confirm. We will be doing a second YouTube show today around 4:45, 5 p.m. Joe Blewett's coming on. He's confirmed. So I'm doing radio today from 1 to 3 and then a second YouTube show. Yesterday, I also did a second YouTube show. It was pre-recorded with Ryan Sampson, only about 30 minutes because I'm pretty stretched thin right now between morning YouTube, radio, Jets Collective. So I'm doing second shows on days when the schedule allows, like yesterday and then again today. Ralphie Rock, shout out to Ralphie. He's in the raffle for 4. Why can't Geno be like Vinny T in 99? Let's hope he could be like Vinny T in 98. 99, Vinny T tore his Achilles. We don't want that. Give me 98, Vinny. And we're going to give away a Vinny T jersey during our second show today. So, Ralphie, you are in for 4. Let's go. You guys are the man. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a show. That is a show. There'll be another show from 1 to 3 on ESPN New York. You know who's going to be joining me at 2:30 today? A guy who famously said this.
Hello, you play to win the game.
Coach Herm stopping by the program at 2:30. So Jet fans, listen in to that. You guys are the best. Thanks for watching. Big thank you to Connor Long for hopping on the show. Connor's a star, folks. Kid's going to be in 10th grade. Are you kidding me? Unbelievable. You guys are awesome. Thanks again for watching. I'm back this afternoon on YouTube. but we're live on the radio at 1. Blew it. Coming up around 4:45-ish, I would say. We'll do a film review and some other fun stuff as well. You guys are the best. JETS, Jets. Talk to you at 1 p.m. on ESPN New York. Oh, hold on. No super chat left behind. Spencer Green says, hey, Jake, hope all has been well, my man. Spencer, where have you been, man? Good to see you in the chat. Hopefully you could watch the second show later today. We're going to ramp up content, baby. Camp is 1 week from today, the Jets report, Veterans report. Rookies report in 4 days. Veterans report a week from today. We've almost made it, folks. Anyway, that's enough talking. Go Jets. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Bob in Vermont has been waiting a long time. Wants in on the Mets conversation from earlier. Hello, Bob.
Hey, Jake, how you doing?
Bobby.
And Bart Scott, how you doing? Jake is a great YouTube person, too. You guys make a good couple. You should get rid of the bald-headed guy.
Oh, man, no, man. Bob, you can't be coming over here firing people, Bob. We don't do that, man. Can't do that. Jake got his own thing going on, hand.
Come on.
And Carlin's my guy, man. You can't be trying to see, that's what they try to do. They try to put a wedge in between you and cause stir up stuff, man.
He was on hold for 2.5 hours to say that Chris Carlin should be removed from the show the way Mendoza was removed from the Mets dugout.
You make with the yuck and the dance, you little monkey clown.
Tough.
Hey, Asmaniacs, make sure to hit the like button and keep on supporting the Jake Asman Show.
That's right, Beast. If you don't subscribe to Jake Asman Show, the Jets will never win another game. Go Jets!